Welcome to Audacity Works, a podcast inspired by and dedicated to the working artist, the creative entrepreneur, and generally, doing the damn thing. This exists on the premise that the world belongs to those who have the audacity to believe that their lives have value. This is for you. Welcome to Audacity Works. I am your host, Rachel Strickland, and this is episode number 192. Yep, had to look. 192. And I'm talking about social media again because there's more to say. But first things first, let me welcome you to July. This is going live on July 1st. It's a Wednesday, as all my episodes go live on Wednesdays. I don't know about you, where you are in the world, but it is hot as balls here. And if I don't go for my morning walk before 10 a.m., I'm not going, because otherwise I would just be sort of sliding like a snail on a trail of sweat under a very hot sun. Here in South Carolina, the swamp is swamping, the ocean is oceaning, it's the midst of summer, and I love it so much. Even the oppressive heat, I really do. I'm just like a swamp creature. There are some fun things coming up. The Irish Aerial Dance Festival. I'll be going there in about 10 days. If you know me, come say hi, please. And if I have that look in my eye, we're like, oh my God, where do I know you from? Please just tell me. It happens to me. And if I meet someone outside of a context that I've met them in before, it's really hard sometimes for me. So please put me out of my misery and be like, oh, I know you from here. Like, oh my God, thank you. I will love you for this forever. If you are coming to the IDF, I'm going to be offering tarot readings. I'll message the group. Clearly, you're in the group if you're coming to the IDF. If not, let me know and I'll put you there. It's a WhatsApp group. That's what I'm talking about. Also, next week at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Overcoming the Imposter, Somatic Witchcraft for Artists is going live on Zoom. I'll put a link to that in the show notes. It is the most powerful tool I've ever found for overcoming gremlins, particularly when you're in the midst of a gremlin attack, and I'm stoked to share it. Use it for the rest of your life anytime you feel like you're stuck in cyclical negative self-talk. Arguing your way out of it does not seem to work. So then there's this. It's $20 USD. After it goes live, the price goes up to $47, which is what I feel it's valued at. But I wanted to make it super accessible on this live launch journey. I do have some fun opportunities to tell you about at the end of that workshop, but I'm not trying to sell anything. I hate that shit. I really hate that shit. I think it's a useful model, but I just like to be upfront about it. I am going to give you an opportunity to join the waitlist for something cool, but I'm not going to pitch you because I want to deliver a workshop, not a pitch. It's going to be witchy. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll see you there. That's in the show notes. As well, I am opening the waitlist for the next Creatrix. Creatrix 3.0. It's going to be May 9th through the 15th on Edisto Island, South Carolina. I have added an extra night by request. And guess what? It did not make the retreat more expensive because I'm interacting directly with the homeowner and not through fucking Airbnb. Amen. Can I get an amen? Thank you. So one more night. There will be some extra cost because I'll have to pay the chef for the extra day and buy the extra food. But trust me, we got a great deal on the house, thank God, so that it doesn't have to be, that's what I was afraid of, that if I added another night that it would be then like too expensive. But it's not. So I'm real happy about that. There's a link in the show notes to sign up for the wait list. It does go live to my patrons first in September for that first week, and then to the rest of the waitlist, but I'll keep everyone apprised. Applications for that are opening in September. Am I taking too much creative license there? September, that's what I meant, September. All right, let's get on to the meat and taters of this episode. I decided to talk more about social media because there's been a WhatsApp group for each cycle of the Audacity project, and they tend to continue chatting after the cycle ends, which I find lovely, and I don't always watch them because there's a lot of them. But there's a conversation happening in one of those WhatsApp groups that I wanted to address, and it is about the responsibility that you have when you have a public profile. With the popular idea via the zeitgeist being that if you have a public profile, you have a responsibility to post about the political things going on and to take a stand against, the fucking garbage fire that we're surrounded with on a daily basis. And I used to think that too, and you probably know I'm about to disagree with that statement, and I'll tell you exactly why. But first, let's just look at the environment that creates for an emerging artist, or even an established artist, or anyone who wants to participate, wants to be posting, wants to build a body of work on social media, but feels stalled out, not only because of the gremlins, but because of this pressure. So here you have a working artist and or coach, whomever, who wants to have a presence for themselves on social media. They consume it and they want to contribute to it. They want to share themselves. There's lots of gremlins that tell them, that it's unsafe to do so, and frankly, who are we to disagree with that? When you put yourself out there, you put yourself out there. But also, that's kind of the point. We want to be active participants in this ecosystem because it is one that we participate in by consuming, but we want to be contributing to it. So great, yay. We've decided we want our profile to be public. We want to be able to promote our artwork, share our thoughts, share our work, share ourselves. Great. And then comes the added pressure of, if you have a public profile, it is your responsibility to your audience to post about everything that's happening. Y'all, I think this comes from an extremely well-meaning place. It's only lovely people that feel this way. I don't know anyone who feels pressure to, if they post it all, they also need to include all of their responses to what's happening around the world. I don't know anyone who feels that way who isn't genuinely so kind-hearted and an active member of their communities in real life, and who wants to do good for the world. It comes from a really good place. Here are my thoughts on the matter. Number 1, you are an artist, not a journalist. It is not your responsibility to tell everyone about every terrible thing that is happening. That's not what you do. You're an artist. You make art about those things, perhaps. But you should not decide that you should also be a source for people to get their news as an automatic function of operating in public. Number 2, there are too many horrible things to mention all of them every day. You will lose your mind. No wonder you haven't been doing it. Of course you haven't been doing it. You would rather not post at all. I agree. It's awful. The awfulness is insurmountable. You cannot expect yourself to be able to publicly respond to all of this shit and be vulnerable about yourself as a person and an artist and be healthy. I don't know, maybe in the 90s this would have been possible. Not right now. 3, I do think that we have a responsibility to our audience to lead with our values. That doesn't mean you have to say it every day. It doesn't mean that you have to respond to every crisis. It means say what you believe loudly and clearly. Put it as a pinned post, if you like, at the very top of your grid. If you want people to know, like, this is where I stand, and I do think it is important for us to lead with our values. That doesn't mean that everything we share needs to be through the lens of some ghostly figure out in the world looking in and wondering, but did they say the correct thing about that issue? Did they look at the way their breakfast plate is arranged and think how it might be contributing to the problem? Now, I know some of y'all think that way and it comes from a good place, but it's going to drive you insane. Number 4, the rise of popularity of this idea that if you have a public profile, you have a responsibility to speak up about every terrible thing. I know I keep saying every terrible thing, but like, I don't know what else to say. Like, there's so many. And if you talk about one, you're like, oh shit, but I didn't talk about Gaza, and shit, I haven't said anything about the Sudan. It's like this amount of pressure is designed to shut you up so that you'll just not say anything. Now, what does that sound like to you? And who benefits from you being so overwhelmed that you don't participate at all? Who benefits from that? You following me? And also with the rise of this idea that we have responsibility to reply to everything and say something publicly about everything, has led to an enormous wave of performative allyship. And people feeling like, well, I don't know if they feel this way. I haven't met anyone that's admitted it, but you know what performative allyship looks like because you've seen it all over the place. You're like, you can't tell if someone actually feels that way or if they're just saying the correct words so that they don't get booted off the island. Number 5, just because someone posts something doesn't mean they actually believe it. I hope so. And I always give people the benefit of a doubt, but think about the inverse too. Just because someone is not saying something about a particular issue doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean that they're not taking action. We all have a responsibility to participate in our worlds. That doesn't mean you have a responsibility to speak up about every crisis in public. There are so many other ways that are more functional, arguably, to participate in a democracy. You can vote. You can contact your representatives. You can give to your local food bank. You can organize on a grassroots level. There are so many ways of actual allyship and being a positive force for your community, and none of them require you to speak up publicly about every crisis. It's just too much pressure. It keeps you silent, and no one benefits from your silence. You know what we would benefit from? Your art, your opinions, that silly thing that you did at the market. I think it's very easy to underestimate the power of levity and simple life things. For example, I'll tell you a little story. In one of my last cycles of the Audacity Project, I was speaking about this to a young artist, and she felt the pressure, and she had done so much traveling and she had like so many cool things to share about her adventures, but she felt terrible talking about it because like there are people experiencing food scarcity, and here she is posting a picture of her on an island, and it just felt too bad. So I just inversed it with her. I'm like, okay, do you follow me on Instagram? And she said yes. I said, do you see the post I put up of my cat, or like hanging out with my dad, or drinking wine with my mom, or walking on the beach and being happy? And she said, yes, I love them. And I never look at them and think that you're a bad person because you're happy and having fun. Like, okay, great. So we can acknowledge that. So, I want to invite you to take a moment to think about the people that like make you feel less alone, whose content that you like on social media. Now, I learned this from the best. I learned this by watching Maestro, my girl, Dr. Shante Cofield, and I'm sure she saw the pressure. She saw this happening, and she also leads with her values. But she also decided so long ago, she's like, no, I am going to share my joy. I have a great life. I'm going to share it. I'm going to post about my friends and the cool things that I do. And yeah, I had the benefit of following her lead, and now I'm telling you about it. Because there have been plenty of times where I just thought it would be better to shut the fuck up and not say anything. But I believe that my life has value, and not just the hard parts, and not just my struggles, and not just my political beliefs, my fucking joy. My joy. Joy is protest. It is not the only form of protest, so let's engage in more ways than that, but still. Your life has value. Your ability to access pleasure, however small, can be giving pleasure to other people. You can lead by example. Your dog or your cat has value. Please post them. That little snippet of your costume, that has value. Please, Lord, save us from the AI bullshit and post some imperfect, real moments from your human life. Promote your art. Tell me about your workshop. How can people find you if you're not there to be found? It's such a cruel irony that like the coolest, kindest people are so hidden because of all of the reasons that I have outlined here. But when cool, kind, sensitive, visionary people just show up imperfectly and share themselves, it's magical. And something magical happens in them also. Even if they get some pushback, they'll also get some of the good stuff. You can handle a little bit of pushback. You can handle it. Or rather, I should form that as a question. Can you trust yourself to handle the consequences of being visible? I think you'll find that you get a lot more love than you think you will, and a lot less hate than you imagine. There are exceptions, of course. I did just record an episode several weeks ago on getting trolled, but it's by far not the experience that I hear commonly. Now, as a closing thought, I do want to say that if you have a public presence, and I hope that you do, you will want to be in integrity, but you have to decide what that means and to be really honest with yourself without any sort of external pressure. Like, are you performing for someone? What's going to make you feel good and in integrity, not only to your audience, but especially to yourself? And what does that integrity look like to you? Until next time, friends, I am looking at the time and I have gone on, and I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you to my alumni, who I didn't ask for permission to name, so I'm not going to name them. Thank you for your conversation that led me to this episode. If you have requests for future episodes, please, oh my God, reach out to me and tell me, because I have to record a whole bunch in the next week before I leave for Ireland, and I need you. I'd much rather talk about something you actually want to hear about, so this would be a great time. Yes, if you have requests for future episodes, you can reach me on Instagram at Rachel Strickland Creative or on Patreon at Rachel Strickland Creative. This podcast is powered by Patreon, aka my inner sanctum, who I tell everything to. Oh, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for making this podcast possible. Thank you for making me possible in the way that I am right now. I could not do this without you. Thank you. Until next time, my friends, I hope you'll show up and don't go back to sleep.